Woo! I don't feel good today. My sinuses really bothering me. I'm gonna try not to let it get me down because I do want to work on things for my channel. I want to continue to film for April for Veda. But my whole face feels swollen and hurts actually quite a bit. I'm going to start an audiobook because I want to make myself breakfast, and I've been working on laundry, so I need to fold laundry and put the load that's in the washer into the dryer and then start another load. You know, it's like endless laundry. Welcome to motherhood, I guess. So I've got little things that I need to do, but mainly I kind of just want to I want to take it easy on myself. My end goal is still to read the first chapter of all of the books on this TBR cart out here. So we will be working on that a little bit later. But for right now, I'm just gonna make a breakfast burrito. That's me! That's yesterday's video. I made it 20 pages into Fight or Flight by Samantha Young. It's interesting so far because you follow Ava, who is at the Phoenix airport, which is somewhere I've been before. It's a few hours from where I live, but her flight ultimately gets canceled, and she's been running into Mr. Scott, and their first few meetings were not good. I do think that this is gonna be a hate to love type of romance. I don't feel the hate. I feel more irritation towards each other because he thinks that she's like obsessed with her looks and that she cares too much what other people think, even though he doesn't really know her. And she thinks that, well, he's a butthead. a butthead. Let's go with butthead. So far, so this one just feels like a really cute, funny romance, and I'm excited to finish reading this later. But I need to get some house cleaning done. I think I'm gonna listen to Suburban Hell, at least start it. I am wondering, I'm not feeling my best, so I'm kind of wondering if maybe my lack of enthusiasm for the books that I've started listening to is not really because I'm not interested in the book, but more because I just don't feel that great. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Suburban Hell is a horror novel, but it's like a campy, funny horror novel. Alright, so I'm only a couple chapters into Suburban Hell, but it's really fun so far. I do think that I'm going to end up enjoying this one. It's like a mystery. Like, have you ever read any mystery, suburban mystery that takes place, you know, in like a cul-de-sac? Or like Desperate Housewives kind of energy. Yeah, so it's like that, but this one's supposed to be horror, and the setup is really good. So one of the friends in the friend group there's like a big bomb that went off or something. It sounded like a bomb. And now in Liz's backyard, there's a stench. I'm assuming it's gonna be like zombies. I don't know. I haven't read it, but I'm enjoying it so far. I am gonna do some food prep, especially for tonight. We're having baked potatoes, like build your own baked potato bar. So I need to make the bacon. I might even make sausage just to have some sausage on the side. I don't know. That's too much. I think I'm going to make some bacon. I'm going to make the beans so that I can make black bean and corn salsa. That's one of my favorites. It's kind of like Chipotle's corn salsa, but mine's better. And yeah, so you might see me in fast forward just in some food stuff. I'm still gonna be listening to Suburban Hell, but I'm very much enjoying it.
Social worker at St. Mary's Hospital in the city. I'd fallen in love with social work when I was in college, leaping at the chance to actually make someone's life better, and helping in a way that was tangible, real, goal-oriented. After college, I completed my master's in social work and was hired nearly instantly at St. Vincent's. I worked with all kinds of people, assisting with geriatric patients, all the way to parents whose children were in the NICU. I organized home health care, medical equipment rentals, transportation to doctor appointments. I made sure patients knew their rights and comforted families when their loved ones received a devastating diagnosis, like cancer or Alzheimer's. It was often emotionally difficult work, and there were many nights I drove back to the apartment I shared with Mark and cried to him about what I had seen and had to do. But I never felt like I wasn't making a difference, and I loved it. Except it wasn't exactly conducive to having children, or really a life at all. The patients I worked with required so much attention, well-deserved attention, that their needs superseded mine. When I got pregnant with Jack, I had visions of making it work, of proving that I could have it all. I could not. I couldn't keep up with the demands of a job that required me to put my work first, and a newborn with more than a few fussy moments. After a year of stretching myself so thin that I was nearly transparent, I took a leave of absence. I reasoned that I could go back to work when Jack was a little older. The leave of absence turned more permanent once we had Emily, and we left the city behind for the suburbs. Well, we did. I still deluded myself into believing I was just one more milestone, one more year away from going back to work.
Suburban Hell is not scary yet. I suspect that there's something coming. Something's a brewing. But honestly, it's all about motherhood and like the sacrifices that mothers make for their children. And it's about kind of losing your identity as a mom and sometimes putting your own needs second or even third or even last. Most of the time last. And I know that that's a very mom thing to do, but it's so intriguing to me because I have been working so hard on actually valuing myself. And I know that sounds so stupid, but like actually letting myself take a nap when I'm sick, or letting myself be emotional when my foster daughter leaves. You know, it's good for her, and I'm happy for her. I truly am, but I do miss her a lot. And letting myself make mistakes and mess up and play and be imperfect. And I know it sounds so cliche, like, oh, whatever. But seriously, I've spent the good chunk of my life not being kind to myself. I spend a good chunk of my time being kind to everyone else, making sure that everyone else's needs are met, but not taking the time or the energy for myself. And the fact that like I'm finally learning how to do that. It is the next day and I feel much better. I don't like to admit when I feel sick. But I did just finish Suburban Hell by Maureen Kilmer. It feels really unjustified, but the first half of this book was so good. It was wacky and silly, and it was about a bunch of suburban moms who were like friends at the core of things. And so it's just like a mom group of friends, and one of the neighbors, one of the friends in the group, has just created a she shed in the backyard. But there is reason to believe that there's something ghostly or demonic living underneath the she shed. And then it kind of just goes off the rails. And usually I don't mind books that go off the rails, but this went off the rails in a weird way. And the whole premise of the first half being like moms and like a friend group and things kind of just went out the window towards the end. They didn't care about the friendship as much. And also this was really weird. It was just messy. And sometimes I like weird horror. It's fine. I would not consider this horror. I would consider it a thriller. In fact, I'm going to use it for my mystery thriller reading challenge instead of the horror reading challenge, because it's not scary. I mean, yeah, the demonic thing is kind of scary, I guess, but we went in more of a funny, thrilling route than we did anything else, and I just didn't really enjoy it. Here's the thing, I liked the first half. The first half I was like, ooh, I want to keep reading, I'm enjoying this, and then the second half just was dreadful. And I know that some people are going to be like, well, that's horror for you. It is, but it wasn't like dreadful in a horror way. It was just, I didn't want to read it. And like the whole thing just felt, I just didn't like it. Okay? I'm sorry. I just didn't love it. I'm probably going to give it 2 stars. I read the first 20 pages of Cassandra in Reverse, and Cassandra is definitely a character. She's kind of an oddball, and I'm really enjoying getting to know her. I'm definitely gonna keep this on my want-to read list. At the beginning of the year, this was a 5-star prediction, and I still could see it being a 5-star prediction. Not a lot has happened other than her boyfriend dumped her and she got fired. And then after she got fired, her boss had the audacity to be like, oh, no, don't pack up. You're gonna finish the next couple weeks here. And she's like, no. And she walked out. And I am like, that is so empowering. I love that for her. Because, like, no, you just fired her, and now you expect her to just stay? No, sorry, that's not how it works. And then, like, it ended with her, because she's having a real bad day, you know? Boyfriend dumped her, got fired, and she doesn't quite understand why. So now she's like, I need a banana muffin. A banana muffin, hold on, let's see. Banana muffins are comforting. Banana muffins are reassuring and familiar. Banana muffins don't wake up in the morning and tell you they care about you immensely, but just don't see a future with you anymore. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I have been working really hard on, like, myself. And this is gonna sound super silly, but I've never let myself have something that's just comforting, or just let myself, like, take care of myself. It sounds silly when I say it out loud, but I'm definitely more of like, okay, well, as long as everyone else is taken care of, then I don't matter. And I've been working really hard to change that. So that whole banana muffin scene, like, makes so much sense to me, and I enjoyed it. So I'm excited for this. Maybe I should try and finish this one for Backlist. No, I really want to read 20 pages of every single book that I own, besides the ones that I bought this year. That was the whole goal when I first started Backlist, and then I got sick, and now I'm starting to feel quite better, significantly better. Now I need to get back to that, so I think I'm going to pick another book. Let's read the first 20 pages of People to Follow by Olivia Worley. I think this is gonna be like a horror novel, maybe? A mystery thriller? Is it a thriller or a horror novel? I think it's a thriller, but it kind of reminds me of this Darcy Coates book that I personally hated. I hope this is better than that Darcy Coates book. But let's start reading it. Oh, here we go. I finished the first 20 pages of most of my books on my cart. So let's talk about it. Are the ones we're going to talk about, because we've already talked about these that are down here, and these were books that I've already read but that I want to reread. So these are the ones that we are going to talk about. Let's talk about Hex and Compassions in the Court. Completely different vibes. Come on, nonfiction by Frank Caprio. Amazing, amazing judge. He is missed. Ghostly horror novel, probably. I did not read the first 20 pages of either of these, and I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep them. Hex was picked by my husband as part of our horror bingo reading challenge from Sarah from Wicked Reading. One of the prompts is to pick a random book, and hard mode was to have more than 10 books. I think I had 20 books. This was the one that he picked, and no, I haven't read it yet, but it needs to be read by October. So then I have Compassions in the Court, Life-Changing Stories from America's Nicest Judge by Frank Caprio. I was so kindly sent this by the publisher, and I really need to read it, but when he passed away, it hurt my heart to want to read it, and I do eventually want to read it, definitely this year. But if you don't know, Frank Caprio was the judge in Providence for a long time. There's actually a YouTube channel, Providence. Ooh, I don't remember. If I can find it, I'll link it. But he ruled from a heart of compassion, and he was such a nice judge. So I guess 5 books that I'm unhauling. So we'll just talk about the ones I'm unhauling. Lucy Yi is Not a Romantic by Lauren Ho. I tried to read the first 20 pages. I think I did get all the way to 20, but I just didn't really connect with the characters. And I don't know, it might have been it just wasn't something I was connecting with. So I'm just gonna let this one go. Not Your Average Hot Guy by Gwenda Bond. Honestly, the first few pages of this were not that bad. They were kind of cool. I really like Callie. Callie's cool. And I really wanted to be at her escape room because her family owns an escape room and her mom's going on this trip. So she kind of leaves her there to watch over the place. Here's the thing, I'm not really like the devil or like a demon. Oh man, I really did enjoy the writing in this one. And I was really hooked on to the escape room, was really fun. Callie just seems like a soul sister. Oh my god, am I gonna keep this? I think I'm gonna keep it. What? Then we have Someday Maybe by this author. I'm not gonna lie to you, I did not read the first 20 pages today. I have tried to read this a couple of times, and I just, as much as I want to like it, because you follow Faye, who is trying to, like, grief. Okay, she found her husband or her boyfriend, her husband, dead, and he had committed suicide. And it's been like 3 or 4 years since then now. It's been several years, and this is like her, I don't want to say comeback story, but this is her story of moving on into the future and starting dating again. But I don't know, I felt a certain way about it, and I don't know, it seems more like she just wanted to go have sex just to have sex. And I don't know. I didn't particularly care for it, so I'm not gonna kid myself. I'm just gonna let it go. Okay, this one might hurt some people, so I'm sorry, but I'm gonna unhaul this bind up of the Vampire Chronicles collection. This is the first 3 books in the Interview with a Vampire series. I think there's 13 books. I'm not gonna read this. I have no interest in this. I remember seeing it. I'm pretty sure I got it from Bookman. I did get it from Bookman's. I got it from my used bookstore, and I'm like, oh, everyone talks about this. It's such a classic. I need to read. No, you don't, Alita. You don't need to read anything that you're not interested in. And I'm not interested. I'm sorry. If you love that, book, I'm so happy for you. But and the last one that we're unhauling is Dolores Claiborne by Stephen King. Honestly, this probably gonna be a really stupid reason, but I don't like the formatting of this book. It's just like one drag, and it's not, I mean, I guess there are small paragraphs, but it drags on. And honestly, Dolores wants to tell the police her confession, but I don't know, it just seems kind of lackluster. And I've heard literally nothing about this book. So it's gone. Which means that the rest of the books that I read the first 20 pages of, I will be keeping to read someday. So there's Keep Her Safe by K.A. Tucker. I'm not even going to lie to you and say I read 20 pages of this. I did not. I read 4 pages. And then I was like, I'm sold. I need this in my life. So was that chapter 1? I think that was the prologue. I think I literally read the prologue and that was it. Yep. I read the prologue and there is this conversation between these police officers. One of the police officers is named Abe, and we are hearing these 2 cops talk about this big drug bust that they just did. There's like 12 bags of, I think, marijuana. It's 1 pound each, so there's a bunch of marijuana. And Abe was talking to the suspect that was handcuffed, but, next to him, and he's like, you would think that if you had this much weed in your house, if you had this many drugs in your house, because now we can put you in jail as a dealer, because, I'm pretty sure that's what he was, but now that we have all the drugs, now you're going to jail for being a dealer. And he's like, that'll teach you next time not to beat up on your girlfriend, because apparently this guy had been beating up his girlfriend to the point that she needed stitches. She had a black eye. She was really beat up, and the neighbor overheard her screaming for dear life, so she called, the little elderly neighbor called 911, and the cops came and found all the drugs, and now he's going to jail. And I don't know anything else about this book, but the writing, I just love K.A. Tucker's writing. Like, come on, let's be for real. So I still don't know what to expect from this book, but oh my gosh, that was a powerful 4 pages. The Last Goodbye by Fiona Lucas. I did not read the first chapter or the first 20 pages of this one. I wanted to, but I don't want to cry. And I read reviews on Goodreads, and someone said that within the first 4 chapters that she started crying, and that's 3 chapters in, and I just don't want to cry right now. So I will be keeping it because I do think it's gonna be one that breaks me, that I'm gonna love though. So then, surprisingly, In the Valley of the Sun by Andy Davidson, I really thought I was gonna unhaul this, but then I read it and I still don't know what it's about. But the description and the bloody mess that is left everywhere in the wake of this book just had my heart. No, but seriously, the bloody mess of everything, and it was creepy, and I still don't know really what's going on in this book. But it's okay, I don't need to. I'm enjoying the ride. Then there's People to Follow by Olivia Worley. This, honestly, is so... it reads like young adult, which I do not like. The main characters, there's 4 characters. I've read from 2 different perspectives so far because I read the first 20 pages. The girls in this book, okay, so I've read from both girls' perspective. There are 2 boys coming up in this book, but they are such whiny little, and honestly, it gives me the ick. I don't care about them. I don't think that, no. But here's the thing. There is a part of this book that is kind of like guilty pleasure status. Think Keeping Up with the Kardashians binge, or The Circle, watching the entire season in one day, which, you know, I've never done before, or the incredible, like, The Masked Singer, like, just following all these clues and these hints to figure out who the Masked Singer is. Like, those are very much guilty pleasure shows for me. I feel like this can be a guilty pleasure read for me, even though it does seem very dramatic. It does seem very young adult. Even though it's an adult book, they act like privileged young adult little babies so far. But somehow I like it. I like it. Okay, so I'm keeping it. Okay, then there's How Will I Know You by Jessica Treadway. This one is very much a slow burn crime novel. So at the beginning, you find Joy's body. Although I don't think they know it's Joy yet. I think they find a body in the frozen pond, and it looks like she just drowned. But as you progress into the story, it kind of seems like there was foul play in this death. Then we have Bad Bachelor by Stephanie London. Okay, I thought it was like Bad Boys or whatever, but it's not. It's this dating app that's only for New York City. But after you go on a date, you can like Yelp review your dates. And then it's public knowledge of whatever you wrote on the like review. And I don't know, it's so fun. Yeah, it's dramatic and it's fun. Okay, then we have Just Like Mother by Anne Hutzel. The prologue of this was so creepy. It's all about like what happened in the cult. And you're in a cult. And then because I read a little bit into chapter 1, almost all of chapter 1, okay, you get sucked into the cult part at the very beginning, and then it kind of slows it down, and it's several years later, and you're following this woman, Mauve, right? Who is now looking for her cousin who was in the cult with her. And that's really all that you need to know. And then The Accidental Pinup by Danielle Jackson. This was great. It started heavy. Well, not really. It started just like mid-action scene of a photo shoot. Like, oh yeah, so put your arms down, oh yeah, that looks so good. And then it really felt like two best friends that were talking after or during the photo shoot. And I really am enjoying the friendship aspect of this. I am excited. I just had a thought. Oh, by the way, I'm reading The Girl Who Was Taken by Charlie Donnelly. I could not stop reading this last night. So I did find the audiobook this morning, but I made it all the way to part 3, which is 200 pages in. Let's see. Some of these. Okay, 147 pages into this book, because no matter what I did last night, I could not find a spot where I could just pause reading and finish today. So I stayed up as late as I could to finish this. Obviously, it didn't quite work. But I had a thought. Kevin, give me 1 minute. I had a thought, though. What if, I think his name is Skeeter. What if the guy that rescued Megan didn't really rescue Megan? What if the only reason he was out there was because he's the guy that kidnapped her? And because she got out of the bunker on her own, when she ran into him, he let her go? Is that crazy? That's so crazy. But I have this odd feeling that I know we're supposed to trust Skeeter, but I don't trust him. I think that he did something. I finished The Girl Who Was Taken by Charlie Donnelly. Holy shit. What did I just read? Oh my god. This was brilliant. This was intense. This was a little sprinkle of scary. This was sisterhood. This was friendship. This was survivorship. This was twisted. Like, I thought I knew, but I didn't know. I am going to end my reading vlog after reading this book, and just know that my mind is completely turned around. Like, the dizzying sensation that I have after reading this is God honest, the truth. This is, oh my god, I loved Olivia. Oh my god. Oh my god, Livia. So, you follow Nicole and Megan, who were both kidnapped. And it's been like about a year since Nicole and Megan were kidnapped, but Megan escaped. Nicole has never been seen again. There's no closure there. This follows Livia, who is Nicole's sister, who is now a forensic pathologist, but she's like interning as that because she hasn't graduated from college yet. She's going to soon, but she hasn't. And on the autopsy body, on her autopsy table, there is a body of someone that could be connected to her sister's case. And that starts Livia on this wild goose chase of an investigation into what happened to her sister. And when I tell you, my eyes almost bulged out of my skull. When I tell you, I could not put this down. I literally started this. I had to wake up early to take my dog to the vet with my husband today. I've been able to sleep in because spring break means sleep, but not today. Today I had to wake up early, which is fine. But my dumb butt decided at 9 o'clock at night, which is like my bedtime. Sometimes I'll scroll or I'll read for a half hour, from 9 to 9:30 or maybe 9 to 10, but that's really pushing it. So I thought, okay, I'm going to read for a half hour. I'm going to start this book and maybe read a couple of chapters, I'm not like a really fast reader. I feel like I'm a pretty fast reader, but not that much. So I thought, I'm like, oh, these are pretty short chapters. I could probably read the first, 2 or 3 chapters. That's really all I wanted. Why did my butt stay up until I got 113 pages in last night? I didn't start reading this till after 9 o'clock. I was up until 1:30 approximately. Dude, Alita, no, don't do that to yourself. This was perfect. Obviously, I'm giving it 5 stars. I can't read to you my review, but there is a review on Goodreads. However, it does have spoilers in it. I guess I could tell you some. So I can tell you the list part that I made. I said it's got it all. Missing people. Plot twist. Like, this plot twist I didn't see coming. And I'm like, oh, you guys are trying to trick me. I know who it is. I know who it is. Yeah, I didn't know. It makes sense now, but didn't see that coming. Friendship, which is actually more of like a sisterhood, plus the sisterhood of Nicole and Liv, and oh my god. Heartbreak. Immense heartbreak. I almost cried. And you guys know that if I cry during a book, that I'm gonna love that book. And I was like this close to crying. Medical examiner, amateur sleuth, scary times, amnesia caused by trauma. And then once that trauma is released, that amnesia slowly starts going away. This book is perfect. I've never read anything else by Charlie Donnelly, but I definitely want to now. Could be a new favorite author. And I know it's kind of early to say because it's only a book that I've read by this author, but oh my god, it had me. The grip. Just like gripped me from the very beginning. I am going to end this reading vlog here though, because I know that technically the Backlist ReadAthon is happening till Sunday, but It is Friday afternoon. I'm gonna stop my reading vlog here, and that way I have time to edit, and hopefully it'll be up on Monday. But more than that, honestly, my main goal was just to read the first 20 pages of every book that I have on my physical TBR, and we did that. So I'm very happy with this reading vlog. Please read The Girl Who Was Taken by Charlie Donnelly. I don't know, it really messed with me. I might have to just stare at a wall for 20 minutes just to contemplate all my thoughts. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.